Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about deck number 511, Arcanis the Omnipotent, or Omnipotent, just depends on how you want to pronounce it. This particular card was donated by Mr. Jake. I do appreciate it, Jake. He's a long follower of the channel. Thank you so much, Jake. Arcanis, as a wizard, uh, tap to draw 3 cards is pretty dang awesome. And, you got the 4 mana escape clause there to bounce it back to the hand. I like it. I like it a lot. But if we're going to tap to draw cards, I mean, just kind of my thinking, if I'm going to tap to draw 3 cards, then I really want to do it a whole bunch of times. So the very first place I went was, how can I untap it? Freed from the real, spend a blue mana to untap it. I am Superman. It's actually Pimim's Aura, but if you rearrange the letters, it's an anagram of I am Superman. They actually named this card on the fly. It's the Morphling enchantment, essentially. But 1 mana untaps the creature. Sword of Parins is a little more. I mean, it's 3 mana, but it's still 3 mana to draw 3 cards. It's not bad, right? And then the often overlooked in Aura from Future Sight. Now, Future Sight did a whole bunch of wacky things that they've never done before, and having auras that tap, enchantments that tap, is kind of a unique thing there. So, having those abilities, being able to just draw an insane amount of cards very quickly. Well, I say very quickly. Once we get Arcanis online and souped up with whatever he's wearing that you have drawn at the time. So, but y'all know me. I love Psychosis Crawler. Love Psychosis Crawler probably a little too much, but if we're drawing that many cards, the beautiful part here is it's each opponent takes the damage. I'm sorry, loses 1 life. So even if you just have no shenaniganery or anything, you're just tapping Arcanis and everybody else is taking 3 and you're drawing 3. This is a world I want to be playing in. Now, Diviner's Wand makes it actually to the point to where you could win with commander damage with Arcanis. Because whenever you draw a card, it gets +1/+1 and flying. Okay. Oh, and if you manage to get the wand out before Arcanis, well, it free equips. Now, obviously, with drawing that many cards, we're going to be running a Library of Lang or an Adventurer's Journal. But let's look at some mana real quick. Have a Soul Ring, a Spectral Searchlight, because it does give a colored mana. So does Heraldic Banner. And, it pumps your team by 1 to the front. Silver Mirror, Prismatic Lens, Hierophant's Chalice, and Palladium Mirror round out the mana ramp, if you will. That's what we got. Now, card draw that is not our commander. I mean, it's necessary, right? Got an opt. Really like that card. Thirst for Knowledge. It's a beautiful card. Read the Runes. Now, I like this. You just draw X cards, and for each card drawn, you discard a card or sack a permanent. So you're just sifting through your deck trying to find one of your equipments or enchantments or win conditions or whatever. Now, Flow of Ideas is just, it's a very expensive card at 6 mana. But let's face it, there are going to be times when Arcanis gets dealt with and he costs way more than 6 and you need to draw cards now. Each island is not bad when you're mono blue, Anticipate's a good filtering card. Now, Precognition Field I am counting as card draw, even though it's not technically card draw. I mean, look at the top card of your library. You may cast it if it's an instant or sorcery. 3 mana, exile the top card of your library. Why is this card not red? hello. I mean, it reads like a red card. Blue has actual put cards in, draw cards. This is red's kind of slice of the color pie there. So I'm not exactly certain how this got by, but you know, I'll take it. And then my favorite thing, I've actually played this deck. I got to play it, and I was able to plagiarize a whole hand. A whole hand. Somebody wheeled, and I plagiarized an opponent. So that felt really good drawing 14 and then drawing none. So let's look at some creatures. Or here, we'll do weird things. I really didn't know what to classify Words of Wind as, but this I like it because this can make people pick up a whole bunch of cards. You know, you spend a mana, and the next time you would draw a card, granted it's 1 mana per card, each player returns a permanent they control to its owner's hand. Now, each player is also you, so that, you know, that's a thing. So don't, if you're playing with it, adjust your math accordingly, because you're going to be putting lands or something back in your hand. Hopefully some redundancies. I've got a dramatic reversal. No, there's not a stick to put it on, because the stick is kind of expensive. Turbulent Dreams. Like Turbulent as additional cost to play Turbulent Dreams, here again, you're just filtering cards. You know, you're discarding. Oh, no, my bad. This is the bounce spell. Well, this should have been in the anyway. Yeah, you discard X cards from your hand to return X non-land permanents to their owner's hand. It is a sorcery. You can't do this, you know, to save anything. However, if you've got some extra cards in your hand, you can get a bump on tempo right there. So let's look at some creatures, shall we? Winerophage. I don't know how to pronounce that. Too much Tennessee in me. But 1/2 flyer for 4 is nothing to write home about. But at the rate that we're going to be drawing cards once our commander's online, this could be pretty ridiculous. Tomorrow. Now, all right, there's a cost to playing tomorrow. And I'll tell you, it's not 6 mana. It's not a card in your deck. It's no deck building cost. The cost is we're drawing a card for our turn and probably tapping our commander to draw 3 cards. So we're drawing a total of 4 cards with nothing else. It takes so much time. It does almost, you've got to be really quick and know what you're looking for. Now, this is a replacement effect because of that cool word instead. So it won't trigger on, you know, if somebody's playing Underworld Dreams or whatever. But I guess it's a good out for that. But it will occupy some time. Because for each card, when you tap it to draw 3, okay, let me look at 3, see which one I want. Let me look at the next 3, see which one I want. So it does take some time, so you got to kind of know what you're after. If not, you're going to have crazy long turns, and nobody likes that. Tempest Zen in there just because it's a big flying monster. I mean, number of islands, all right. Jace's Phantasm. As long as an opponent has 10 or more cards in their graveyard. I guess now would be a... Well, no, let's get through the creature. Oh, no, shoot. Let's do it now. Crumbling Sanctuary. Awesome card. This actually, your opponents at the table help you accomplish your goal. So if we don't... So far, we've got a couple of different ways to win. We have got our Psychosis Crawler drawing everybody, damaging out. We have got our commander getting flying and bashing in. But we've also got the mill strategy. And with Crumbling Sanctuary, it's all players. So if somebody's alpha striking, they're milling however much that damage is. So that's an amazing card. Sphinx's Tutelage. Y'all saw me pull this one, I think. Did I open? No, I didn't open that. Oh, I did show you. Jace's Erasure. Whenever you draw a card, you may have target player put the top card, so that's not bad. Psychic Corrosion. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2. So, there again, really good. Eon Chronicler is, power touches equal number of cards in your hand, and, you suspend it if you got enough mana. It's a kind of a card draw thing in and of itself. Fleet Swallower kind of helps into that mill strategy, because I love that it's an attack trigger. It's not a combat damage trigger, so if they let you untap with it and you go to, declare it as an attacker, oh, that ability's happening. Top half. Sometimes I get some flack for playing the Noble Benefactor because it does benefit everyone. But you know what? Why not? I mean, it's we're playing Arcanis the Omnipotent, and we're drawing a ton of cards, so there's a good chance we're going to be up in that equation anyway. Fog Bank is just a good blocker. Nezahal, because, every deck needs dinosaurs, right? And, you have no max hand size. You get to draw cards. There's just no... yeah. I guess 7 mana is the downside. Clone. And there again, it's a good card. Sir Eleonora, here we are counting cards at hand, so that's not bad. And Guile. Now, Guile is the last creature on purpose simply because of what Guile does. I mean, Guile is... what was it on Chronicles of Riddick? Keep what you kill. Although you're not really killing it, you're countering it. So, I mean, that would be a better fitting phrase if, anyway, you know what I'm saying. A black card, probably. So, we have a little bit of counter magic because we've got our thing, and our thing is very, very specific. Our commander plus a couple, an equipment or an enchantment or, our win conditions are, we have a couple, but they're all easily targeted. So, we have got a little bit of counter magic. We have a counterspell. Intervene, which gets overlooked a lot at 1 mana. Counter target spell that targets a creature. Yes, I know it doesn't work on wraths, but it does work on targeted anything. Memory lapse. A lot of times, that's all you need. That clutch removal spell right before you're about to win the game, well, you cost them the tempo, the mana, the everything. So, just put it on top of the, let's see, you put it on top of their library. So, now it's costing them a draw. In some circumstances, memory lapse can almost be a time walk. Hydroblast, because we don't want that, blasphemous act going on. Mana Leak. Mana Leak is still a good card. People tap out routinely. How many times have you heard, 1 more mana and I can play my commander? I love hearing that when I'm sitting there having a Mana Leak in hand. Spell Siphon. Pay 1 for each blue permanent or its counter. Negate. Flash counter. Remove soul. And even though metal doesn't per se counter the spell, it's kind of, I mean, you're going to use it in the same way that you would. I mean, you're holding up mana, you've got, you're interfering with what they're wanting to do. I'm trying to get this a little on the close as I can get. I've got a rescue just to, because like I said, commander tax adds up quick if everybody's gunning for your commander. What are we going to call this? Removal-ish kind of stuff. Portcullis. We don't want a whole bunch of creatures on the board. I mean, we really, really don't. So, the fact that this sets the board at a maximum of 2 creatures, which is probably going to be exceeded once we cast Portcullis, unless you just get, exceedingly lucky with a turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Portcullis, which would be awesome. But in that scenario, I feel like Portcullis just gets shot down early. It does protect you from the go wide tokens and things like that. But Caltrops also, you know, a creature attacks, it deals 1 damage. I love Caltrops with that Death Pits of Wrath, but that's black, so we can't use it. Vow of Flight, you know, to make it something. It can be as awesome as it wants to be, as long as it ain't attacking me. I don't care. Ovenize, till end of turn. Obviously, we're going to use this as a combat trick. Etherize, Devastation Tide, Curse of the Swine, Disperse, Unsummon, Reigns of Power. Now, Reigns of Power is a good one I absolutely love. We trade creatures, because this is going to be one of those times. Now, it's just until end of turn. But the idea behind Reigns of Power is, you know, you don't have any creatures. So, and then we've got our 3 non-basic lands. Stop me if you've heard this one. Rogue's Passage. Sapperzan Cove and Halimar Depths, which I affectionately call Ponder Land, because that's exactly what it does. So, that is Arcanis, along with a whole bunch of islands there. And like I said, I do appreciate it, Jake. Thank you very much. He actually sent me this card a long time ago. It may have, was it earlier this year? Was it even last year, maybe? I guess that would depend on when you're watching the video, or when I post the video. I'm thinking I'm going to try to post this around January 1. So I guess it would have been 2018 or early 19. But anyway, I do appreciate it. Hadn't forgot about it. Just had to get around to doing it. So we'll look up here. Oh, still got that other chair there. Deck number 511. Starting a new row. Starting a new year, new row. I have a goal. I have a goal this year. Because we are probably getting, there's 70-something legends in Commander Legends at the end of the year. Now, if all of those are Commander eligible cards, it being legendary creatures or planeswalkers with that line of text, we don't know. But I know they're counting planeswalkers in there. And then we've got a couple throughout the year. We're going to start with 5 decks in spring, and then 2 more here, and then 2 more there, and then the regular standard sets are going to have legends. It looks like Theros is going to have. Y'all know more now than I do when I filmed this, because I filmed it like way back in December. But it appears that we're going to have uncommon legends in Theros as well, because the white legend is uncommon. So it looks like they are really putting the pedal to the metal. So I had estimated that like 100 new legends were going to come out in 2020. So my goal is I want to build 200 decks. Through the course of 2020, I want 200 decks. Now, that was deck number 511. So by the end of the year, I want to be at deck 711, at least. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try to do everything I can. That's kind of the first goal I've ever set for myself. But you know, what was that, 365? Oh, no, we get an extra day next year, 366 days. That's right, because it's a leap year. Every leap year there's Summer Olympics. Yes. And an extra day. So, that's what I'll, so 366 days, 200 decks. We're going to try it. I'm hoping to shoot above and beyond that, but once I get 200, I'm not going to stop. But anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, I think we're going to shuffle and cut.